Oh, we're already screwed anyways. Yeah. Anyways, hello everyone, this is Floxcat. And yeah, welcome to my Halloween special, where today I decided to do a very interesting thing for Halloween. And that is something that I actually could have done even without the Halloween theme. However, because it is Halloween, and because I have nothing else to do. Plus, also today is literally raining, which is a good thing. Hopefully, it's not going to rain on Halloween when this is released, because we all know this is the Halloween special. I'm going to release it later at the time of recording. I decided to go ahead and do a very interesting introduction, and basically, while this video isn't fully an explained video, I want to give my thoughts on a recent genre that has been growing in length ever since 2015. That's right. This genre is actually 5 years old now. Well, actually 6 years old if you count this year, which is definitely very interesting considering how far the genre has gone. The genre has gone from just Local 58 to a plethora of these. Yeah. I really, especially the last one, to say the least, even though I just did a whole theory video. Hell, the thing has gotten so popular because that was actually a recent series. The thing has gotten so popular that even Pokemon Company, for some reason, got on board with all this. yeah, that happened. So pretty much it's just weirdness and say around. But today I don't want to go into every single thing and try to explain everything. There's already tons of videos on everything. I already went with one, and to say the least, even though technically I should have seen that coming. Like, I am not joking about the Mandela catalogs, because fuck. However, today I want to do something very different. I wanted to explain why the catalog horror genre is rising and kind of actually give my own thoughts to figure out why it's so popular. Now, side note, two things. I'm going to want to note that I don't know if my things will be mostly fact. It's just my ideas, and if there's a reason why you like the analog horror differently than I see it, then go ahead and put it in the comment section, because really this is a fascinating topic. And second of all, like I said, I won't be going into much details. I will give a brief history on what analog horror is, but for the most cases, this will be definitely a very interesting topic, so I may get things off. But again, this ain't a full explain video. This is just more of a discussion on why it could be, and this is just my theories on why this series is so popular, especially coming from a guy who actually do enjoy some of these stuff. Okay, so originally I was literally going to try to get the analog horror, but apparently it looks like that page got deleted for some reason. I don't know, which kind of sucks, because I don't know, Surfer in an existing article. Yeah, it's not in anywhere, but I guess that's fine. But really, it doesn't take too much to know what it could be referring to. I think there could be a way we can get one, but I'm obviously looking at Local 58, which surprisingly has its own Wikipedia page. Anyways, pretty much the best way to describe analog horror is pretty much what you just saw. The idea is it's a found footage that looks like the seed to be come from a television show or something hijacked. Now, I do want to make it crystal clear that not everything has to follow the whole broadcast thing. After all, the last two videos saw, the Pokemon and the Miami catalogs, didn't really had anything to go by. In fact, it could be mostly anything. And really, all it really needs to have is a connection to our television, like a DVD, cassette tape, and many others. In fact, here's two more examples that really doesn't follow the whole format of, television-wise.
By the time the lady entered the backstage, the voice told her to Kristen Husband's love was there. Instead, she found Ralph.
So yeah, and I want to make it, by the way, real quick side note, I want to make it clear that admittedly, I don't know what truly counts as a analog horror, so yeah, but then again, the Wilson Files are kind of like analog horror kind of thing with commercials and stuff, so I guess I count it. And plus, also the reason why I throw Magic World of Honor there is TV reports in there. The only one that seems to be left out is the whole Pokemon thing, but let's be real, it kind of like is. Like, I still theorize that Game Freak could jump on that trend. But that's not the point. As I even also did a video of that, trying to explain why a fucking camera was in a different time zone of a Japan thing, whatever, BS. Links down in the description below. But the point is, I wanted to kind of explain why these things are scary, or at least try to, because all we consume is figure and why they're so popular. And I think the first one has to do, my first theory on why you may like it is because just the random craziness that has appeared. After all, you are not expecting a fucking creepy angel face to appear in your fucking television. Not to mention, you have to remember that this another key thing towards this genre is it has to deal with old VPS and also different time frames. For example, the person who created all this, Local 58, well, not really a person, but the series who started this whole shabam, had different timelines for where it started. And by the way, before you start off saying things like, that means it should be moderate, which I do agree. Two things with the Pokemon thing, with the whole moderate thing. First of all, it is still a freaking VPS camera. I'm serious with that. And second of all, more importantly, Local 58 did state that their more recent logo and episodes in the recent time frame, of course, is in 2014. So it could be any time frame, of course. But yeah, it mostly is retained to old rules. But anyways, still, it's so creepy that you don't even expect it to happen. And really, it's definitely a big thing to say. The second thing is pretty much more obvious, being just the jump scare FU kind of thing, just giving you a jump scare of everything. For example, here's another analog horror, which actually, to be fair, it's weird, but you get the feeling when you see it. Okay, quick side note, my fucking Wii U burst, so we're gonna have to use the computer for this, which sucks, but I guess I'll figure out something later. Oh boy.
What is it this time, Orange? I wanted to let you know I'm sorry for all these years I've spent making your life miserable. I'm ready to turn things around, to start anew. I'm truly relieved to hear that, Orange. It's a big step for you. Hey, Pear. What? I made it all up. Nutritious, delicious, nothing compares.
So yeah, and a couple of things note with that. As you can tell, it jumped out of nowhere, and I know it's a very loosey example to like other stuff like Local 58 and all that, but my point is you didn't expect that to happen. But of course you probably did, knowing this thing, but you know what I mean. And yes, I also call Exploji, however the fuck you say his or her name, channel's name, as analog horror as well. In fact, it's mostly inspired more of comedic analog horror. Probably the best way to start if you want to start something fresh and new with this. Anyways, the point is, analog horror could be very interesting because of that thing. Like, going back to the contingency of Local 58, that was way back, if I recall correctly from the Fury videos, that's back in the 60s? I could be wrong, but either way, it's back in that period when you didn't have phones, so you could have fact-checked that. And the worst part is, knowing what happens at the end, which I'm not going to show because it gets effed up, it's very interesting to say the least. And it's very, well, unique in a way for this. Now, that's my first theory. The second reason why I think analog horror is getting popular is just due to the fact of how realistic it is. It has a very uncanny valley when it comes to realistic things, especially freaking the Mandela whatever files or whatever. My bad. But it has a very uncanny realism towards it. Not everyone, of course, like the Wilkin files and the Explosion, or whatever that channel's name called. But most part, they do, and it's definitely very interesting to say the least. Especially when, again, you could literally prank someone in watching that, and it's definitely terrifying. But another reason why I think it's very great, and I'm going to combine these two, is the fact that this combines with conspiracy and, of course, mystery. And that's because there's a lot to look into all of them. We do not know what is important with this stuff. It's definitely very interesting. It questions a lot of people, especially if it does have a story to go by. It definitely is very interesting, to say the least. So, we do not know, and it's fun to figure out what's the main behind of the story, because we're just looking through a window, literally, jokingly speaking, but literally what I mean is you don't know what's going on. There's a lot of mysteries, a lot of things you have to pull out. Again, like I said, and there's also many people who have different things. For example, in the Magella catalog, I can't say it right, in my theory video of that, which will be in the description down below, I theorize possibly that it could be the government doing all that, but many people has a different opinion of that. That's fine because we don't know what's going on. And that is the best part. And that's actually kind of interesting because that will explain why there's a lot of ARG elements to it, which is another reason why many people may like it. After all, many dark channels talk about this stuff. You know, what I mean by dark channels, I don't just mean, well, the actual dark channels. I also talking about the people who do these things. In fact, my channel could consider be a little bit part of it, since I did explain videos about a bunch of stuff. But it's definitely very interesting to say the least. And finally, I guess it's because it's also fun to see how these people go far. There's tons of great examples and copycats that really rode home. And especially since Local 58 creator really doesn't care if people copycat him, apparently. Everyone can do whatever. And that's fine to say the least. But more or less, it's still a good art project thing. I don't know how Analog Horror will go, because so far it's only just a web thing. And as of at least recording this video, I don't know if today, as the premiere date, they're going to do the same thing like last year with a surprise releasing a video on Halloween kind of thing of Local 58. But for now, one thing you gotta do is you gotta thank Local 58 for literally giving us this genre, because without it, it's very much a lot to impact. Now, of course, my video isn't that big of explaining it, because I know there's already tons of videos trying to explain analog horror and all that and why it's so popular. But that's just my thing. I didn't really have anything else for Halloween to do, because I'm going to probably spend some time by myself and maybe on other people's channel, kind of. I might see GB Reed's videos. Let's see what he does for Halloween. But most notably, you know, it's fun and, you know, it's a great start. I can't wait to see how this genre takes off, because in a span of 5 years, we gain hit after hit of analog horror, so I don't know. But hey, at least the other good news from this series is, as always, we got a frickin' Zora. Well, a ghost and normal type Zora.